First graders, for math, you need pencil, eraser, your book. Now, your book says to also use counters. I looked at it and decided I actually thought it was easier to do it without the counters. So you can get them and try it that way if you want to, but you don't have to. All right, guys, lesson 10.5, read tally charts. How do you count the tallies on a tally chart? So let's take a look here at these crayons. It says to use counters to solve the problem and to sort them into two groups. So what we're looking at here is that there are a couple of ways we can sort this. You see here we have long crayons and short crayons. We also have yellow crayons and red crayons. So you could sort it in different ways. You could do all the red ones together in a group, or you could do all the long ones together in a group. Either way, down here, go ahead and draw counters to represent it. So if you're going to put all the red ones into this box, go ahead and draw a counter for each red one. And I would suggest, put an X on it once you've drawn the counter for it, because we have a lot up here. It would be easy to lose track. I think that's the reason they suggest using the counters, because then you could slide them away. If you're going to separate long and short, draw a counter for each long one, and once you draw a counter for it, go ahead and mark it off. The other reason I suggest not using counters is because here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and you guys only have 15 counters. So you choose if you're going to separate them by color or by length, and then at the bottom, you go ahead and write down how many in each group. Now, once you've done that, an easy way to count up this kind of thing is by using something that we call tally marks. When you use a tally mark, instead of drawing a circle for the counters, you draw a line. And the thing with tally marks is that we do them in sets of 5, just like we do lines of 5 counters, and that makes them easy then when you have a bunch, like say 63 or something, to count it up, because we can count by 5s, right? 5, 10, 15, 20. So with tally marks, we make it look kind of like the fingers on our hand. Do you see we have 1, 2, 3, 4 fingers sticking up? 1, 2, 3, 4. And then do you see how our thumb kind of goes across like this? So with tally marks, we do 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the fifth one goes across just like our thumb does. So on this side, you can see they've used tally marks. Each mark is a tally mark. It stands for one child. This 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stands for 5 children. Most children like, and you can see here easily. Now, with tally charts, they will, this is really handy for when you're asking people one at a time. So like when I asked you guys what your favorite animal was, I actually used tally marks to keep track of that. So, you could ask someone, do you like chicken or pizza better? And they would say pizza. So you could put a mark for pizza. And then you ask someone else, they say pizza too. So you put a second mark for pizza. You ask someone who says chicken and you put a mark up here. So you ask and you put the marks as you ask. Once you ask for the fifth person you ask who says pizza, you put that mark like that. So if we're using a tally chart to collect information, we can put these totals here. And it's easy to see here we have 3. To get this one, we could count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? 6, 7, 8. But we also can see this is a bundle of tally marks, we call it. This is the word bundle. So here we have a bundle of tally marks, and we can just start counting from 5 there. 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. So down here, it says complete the tally chart. Now you can take a look at these. In a tally chart, we have a title, just like on our other graphs. We have these labels that tell what these rows are for. And then there's also a column for totals that gives us how many. So let's practice counting this up. Here again, we have a bundle of tally marks. So we start with 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then here we have a bundle of tally marks and 5 and one more. 6. Now, then here it's pretty easy. How many girls are in the class? How many boys are in the class? How many children are in the class in all, boys and girls together? You guys know how to add that up. Are there more boys or more girls in the class? Now, you could just put boys or girls. I would suggest to have a really nice complete answer, you want to write more first and then write more boys or more girls. Next page, complete the tally chart, right? So it has the amounts in here, but it doesn't have the totals. So here you can see one bundle of tally marks. That slash tells us it's 5. Here we have 5, 6, 7. And here we don't even have a full bundle. There's no slash across it. 1, 2, 3. How many children chose soccer? How many children chose swimming? Now here, how many more children chose t-ball than swimming? So boys and girls, you know from doing the other kinds of graphs and charts, you're actually going to be doing subtraction there. With the other graphs, because of the way it was laid out, it was really easy just to compare and see what was different. Here you might need to actually use your own fingers. You could get counters if you want to practice subtracting it. You're going to be subtracting to find out how many more chose t-ball than swimming. Which sport did the most children choose? And you can circle that. Now here, write your own question. You guys did some of that before, and you can look back to some of your lessons about other charts and graphs and see what kinds of questions they ask and write a question of your own that you come up with. Sam asked some other children which sport they like. They all chose swimming. Now the most children chose swimming. How many children did Sam ask? Now, this is a little bit of a trick question, but let's go back up to our tally chart. We have to get most to be swimming. So here, I'm going to use a different color so that it's easy to see how many I'm adding. So I'm going to switch to my red pen here. This has to be the most, which means it's got to be more than soccer because that's the most right now. So if I add this one, that gets me up to 4, and see, here's a bundle, so I need to add another one. That gets me up to 5. Now I have these two. For this to be more, I need one more, right? So let's look at how many I added. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we can't forget this one here that slashes across. 5. All right, last page. Now, do you see here? Remember to write the total there, reminding us we need to finish these tally charts if they're not finished. So here you can see the color title. Here we can see the title. Color we like best, red, blue, green. Let's put the totals, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we can see a bundle of 5 and another bundle of 5, 5, 10. And here you can see another bundle of 1, 2, 3, 4. Now here, watch carefully. You're going to be writing greater than, less than, or equal to for this. The number of tallies for blue is blank. The number of tallies for red. So what would you put here? The number of tallies for blue is greater than the number of tallies for red. The number of tallies for blue is less than the number of tallies for red, or the number of tallies for blue is equal to the number of tallies for red. Figure out what you need to put that there to have that be true. The number of tallies for red is greater than the number of tallies for green, less than the number of tallies for green, or equal to the number of tallies for green. The number of tallies for green is greater than the number of blue, less than the number of blue, or equal to the number of blue. Oh my goodness, hot problem. Here we go. The number of tallies for blue is blank. The number of tallies for both red and green. So again, we're going to use either greater than, less than, or equal to. Let's take a look. The number of tallies for blue is greater than the number of tallies for blue or green, red or green. The number of tallies for blue is less than the tallies for red and green, or the number of tallies for blue is equal to red and green. What's true? Blue. Number 15, test prep. Which tally marks show the number 10? So you can see that obviously this is less than a full bundle, right? So that's less than 5, that's not 10. But you can take a look here and see which bundle shows 10. Now, first graders, I would imagine that wasn't very hard, but I wanted to make sure we went through it step by step to make sure that we're really understanding everything we do. Remember, it's not just enough to get it done. We want to make sure that we really understand what we're doing, because this is all the foundation that we're laying right now for all sorts of bigger learning that you guys are doing later in school. So we want to make sure that we really understand it, even though it seems easy, we could get through quickly. We want to make sure we're taking the time to be clear in our understanding so that when you're in third grade or eighth grade, it's a lot easier to do those things because, like we talked about with Bible, your foundation is really strong and solid.